Renee, please show all board members present tonight. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we'll get started tonight with our favorite part, the board salutes, and I think Erin's going to take us through those. So,
ready. Our first salute is for a few of our principals. Congratulations to Jeffersonville High School Principal Julie Straight. Please come forward. Parkview Middle School Principal Amy Hasselbring and Wilson Elementary Principal April Holder for graduating from the Indiana Principal Leadership Institute, also known as IPLI. Housed at Indiana State University's By College of Education, IPLI is a 2-year experience that addresses the professional needs of Indiana public school principals with an emphasis on student success. Our 3 principals were among 56 in IPLI's first class. Their accomplishments include implementing data-driven processes to enhance student performance, improving classroom instruction, and strengthening the school culture. Additionally, 20 of the first cohort's 56 principals saw their school grades increase under the state's A to F accountability model. The board salutes Julie Straight, Amy Hasselbring, and April Holder.
Dr. Holder was not able to be here tonight. She had a family commitment, so she expressed her regrets. But I just need to say that the IPLI program, pretty 2-year, very comprehensive professional development opportunity. It's a statewide initiative, and I know in just having conversations with both of these individuals, the value that it brought to the table over the 2-year time frame, the connections, the networking, and it's all about wanting to have the best leadership we can possibly have in our school corporation. So obviously we have good leadership here, but we always want to work to enhance that on a daily and annual basis. So very proud of the 2 of you. I know it's a big commitment. You're running buildings, plus you're also trying to make that commitment as well. But we're proud of you and appreciate the commitment to our school corporation.
Thank you for supporting us.
I can tell you with the next 2 salutes, we were competing with Taylor Swift tonight. Leadership Southern Indiana's Next Gen program embodies the organization's mission to actively engage leaders and develop ethical leadership that impacts our region. The program's objectives provide experiences for young leaders in our community to encourage future successes. The program allowed our students the opportunity to build relationships with other young leaders within the program and the community. The goal of the program is to provide its graduates with real-life connections, experiences, and knowledge to conquer the world and be the future leaders of our community. Congratulations to our GCCS juniors who recently graduated from the Next Gen program. Charlestown High School students Adriana Lopez, Sarah Rutkowski, and Tanner Wesp. Jeffersonville High School students Jack Riley. Come on up.
Come on, Jack. not Taylor Swift.
Cassidy Paget, Haley Budarth, and Connor Kruer. And New Washington High School's Andrea Shelton. Mr. Ledbetter, you can come up and accept on her behalf, please. Congratulations to these students.
First of all, I want to thank Leadership Southern Indiana for sponsoring this. It was a great concept, a great idea. It's all about giving students opportunities to not only meet other students from other schools and network there, but also to be exposed to all aspects of our community, understand the value of community, learning from other leaders that you're exposed to. So I really appreciate Leadership Southern Indiana for making this possible, and it was a huge success, I know. And your commitments, you're all outstanding young people and great ambassadors for your families, for your school, and also for our school corporation. So thank you so much. Very proud of your commitment to youth. Congratulations.
Dual credit means that a high school student can take a high school class to earn high school credit and college credit. The class curriculum and teacher must be approved by Ivy Tech Community College, which facilitates the dual credit program for the state of Indiana. As part of the dual credit program, an early college program has been implemented at Charlestown High School and Jeffersonville High School. The early college program is very rigorous and can result in a high school graduate not only earning their high school diploma, but also an associate's degree from Ivy Tech Community College at no cost to our GCCS families. Greater Clark County Schools is proud to announce that 11 Charlestown High School seniors graduated from Ivy Tech Community College with their associate's degree and/or a technical certificate. Congratulations to the following students, and I believe we may only have one present: Whitney Andrews, Jonathan Buchanan, Matthew Byers, Caitlin Henning, Michelle Karsner, Brianna Leary, Megan Middleton, Iris Saldana, Sarai Sato, Christopher Spencer, and Alexandria Hutchinson. Alexandria.
Turn around and face this guy. You know, I hope everybody caught this. This early college program, which Charlestown High School has been a leader in, and Jeff High School is also entering into as well. The ability to already have received either an associate's degree or a technical certificate from Ivy Tech, and you've not even officially completed high school at no cost to the families. I mean, I don't know if we can do anything better than that for our kids. And so, but what I'm saying is not easy. What you've accomplished is something tremendous. For you to be able to uphold all of your responsibilities at Charlestown High School and also meet all the obligations to Ivy Tech and whatever else you're also participating in your life, that commitment, it shows that you're very, very special. And thank you for taking the time to be here. Know that we're behind you 100%. For the rest of your life, you're always part of our Greater Clark family.
Can I say one thing?
At least one thing. Go ahead.
I couldn't have done it without all my counselors and stuff. As most of you probably don't know, I go to Jeff 2 in the morning for physics, and I hear Miss Straight talk on the announcements every single morning. So that's what actually qualified me to get this, was going to Jeff in the mornings.
Wow.
Okay, so if there was anyone here that is just here for the, oh, I'm sorry. Mr. White, did you have any comments?
No. I
Okay.
accept.
Ms. Perkins?
Wonderful. Congratulations to everyone.
Okay. Ms. Perkins? Ms. Zillman? Ms. Kraft?
We're proud of you, very proud of you.
Mr. Hall?
Yeah, I'm real proud of Alex. Not only the academics she's doing, but the other day I went through checkout at JC store in Charlestown. She's also working there as well. So she's got a full load on her plate, and she does a great job.
And Alex, I graduated with your mom, so you come from good stock. Congratulations.
All right. Great job. Thank you. If there's anyone here just for the recognitions that want to leave, it's a great time to do it, or you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. So. Okay, so the next item is the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes tonight?
Yes, please. I like to, in the consent agenda, I'd like to pull number 6, personnel other, please.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, do we have a motion to accept the agenda with the exception of pulling personnel other for a separate vote?
Make a motion to approve with that one item being
Thank you,
pulled
Mr.
for separate
White.
vote.
Thank you, Ms. Zolman. Questions, comments? All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes from previous meetings. I'd like to take all those together, executive, regular, and special.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Any questions, comments about those minutes? All right. All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Dr. Millen, public comments on agenda items tonight? No?
None tonight.
All right. Thank you. So next, we'll take the consent agenda. We have 6 items. We're going to take the first 5 claims through personnel and then personnel others separately. So we'll go ahead and start with the first 5 items.
Move to approve consent agenda items 1 through 5.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Any questions, comments on those items? All right. All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next will be item number 6, personnel other. We have a motion to accept that.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Questions, comments?
Yeah, I just feel at this time it's, I know in the Transportation Department, we are working on restructuring that department, but additional cost in salaries of in that department, I don't think that's needed at this time right now. And so that's why I don't have support for this.
All right. Further comments? All right. All in favor? Be 4, right? All opposed? In 3, 4-3. All right. Thank you. Next is gifts to buildings. Ms. Kraft, would you mind taking us through that, please?
I always get the best part. Okay, it looks like $3,459.10. Box tops for education is always a good thing, and the PTOs do a marvelous job. We just appreciate all the help, and then we always can depend on the FOP from Jeff and other departments, other police departments. They're very supportive of us. We just appreciate that, and I would make a motion that we accept that.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kraft.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Zolman. Questions, comments? All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next, we'll move into the action items. Item 1 is the Town Place Suites contract. And Ms. Schellenberg, I think, is going to take us through that.
As part of our summer conference, we have, well, this year we have so many speakers coming in from out of town. Last year we worked with the Sheridan and we try to kind of spread the wealth, and this year Town Center has offered to give us a conference rate for those presenters.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Any questions, comments for Ms. Schellenberg? Okay. All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next is the contract with the e-learning summer conference spotlight speakers.
I think this will be it. I'm pretty sure we're at the end. These speakers are, we have Joe Stumpenhorst, who is the 2012 Illinois Teacher of the Year. We have presenters here who are experts in their field with Google Classroom, and we have an elementary principal of the year. Really strong presenters. We have over 120 sessions now. We have 634 people registered so far. We anticipate the size of this to be about 900, so we're 3/4 there. It's really coming along well, and can't say enough about Katie Hutchinson and Melissa Stewart, who have been driving the scheduling, and of course Brett Clark's leadership with it. So,
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Hall, I think I saw. All right, questions, comments?
How many total speakers do we have
Um,
totally for all this?
as of Monday, we were at 47 speakers total, because we have a lot of internal speakers as well. At any one time, we have about 52 sessions going on at once, so.
These are all covered with grant money
Yes.
as well.
Right.
And all these fees are paid by a grant?
Correct,
Yes, ma'am.
correct.
Okay. Further questions? All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Next is the automatic teller machine at Jeffersonville High School. And Dr. Hare?
Yes, Mr. Paving Board. This is an automatic teller machine, would be of service to the staff and students and patrons at Jeffersonville High School. It also would benefit the athletic department. The athletic department will get a commission of $1.50 per each withdrawal. The machine will be mounted to the floor. It will be in the hallway close to the College and Career Center. There are security cameras there to monitor it. The liability does rest with Mathis Novelty. Mrs. Lewis had us review this, so has Dr. Dykle. I had him take a look at this as well. So at this time, the recommendation would be to approve the agreement between Mathis Novelty to install an ATM at Jeffersonville High School, kind of as a way to help with fundraising with the athletic department.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hare. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Questions, comments for Dr. Hare?
Will the access to the machine be in the evenings too? Or?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Oddly enough, a lot of times at the basketball games,
Yeah.
we don't take debit cards, and this would be an opportunity when they're at the concession stand to say there is an ATM machine located in the hall. That's why we're placing it down there by the
Okay.
College and Career Center, yes, ma'am. And as well as for any type of theater, auditorium, try to put it in a central location there.
And this would not take an additional security camera in the hallway? We have that covered?
Yes, sir.
Not to mention its relativity to the cafeteria.
It is that too. You're right.
That's important. Okay. Further questions? If not, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Craig.
All right. Next is the quote for the batting cage construction at Charlestown High School.
Yes, Board. You'll recall that the Ross Estate had donated approximately $116,000 to Charlestown High School in shares of IBM stock. To date, about $28,000 of that donation has been spent on much-needed upgrades in the auditorium. We will also be placing a plaque in honor of the Ross family outside of the auditorium. The remainder of that fund, there's about $88,000 left. Along with $14,000 from the Charlestown Athletic Department, we are requesting that would be used to construct a batting cage for both the baseball and softball teams at Charlestown High School. Also, as part of this agreement and your approval, the athletic department would be reimbursed $3,500 from the baseball team and $3,500 from the softball team over the next 3 years, not $3,500 a year, but $3,500 over the next 3 years to help fund this project. The corporation, we did go out and request 3 bids. We did receive 2 bids, and by law, that's what we needed to do to meet that. So at this time, the recommendation would be the approval of the quote, which was the low quote, with K&B Contracting to build a batting facility at Charlestown High School. Total cost of the project is $93,306 for the structure, and an additional $7,000 for the purchase and installation of turf flooring, for a total of $100,306.
All right. Thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Any questions, comments for Dr. Hare?
Is there a main drain in this building? When I was looking through it, I know they're putting in one restroom, so you think there'll be a drain in that restroom, but is there a drain any other place in case of a heater bust or?
We could certainly have that. We could have somebody take a look and install that. I don't think that would be a problem, because originally, this is kind of a long-winded answer, but originally we weren't going to plumb that. We felt like we needed to have a restroom in that facility. If we're going to use it that much, there needs to be a restroom, so there would be plumbing. There's a water line out there, and I think it's just a matter of installing a drain. That's definitely something we can take a look at and have them add.
How many students are you talking about that would be involved with this?
I'm going to look to Mr. Lofton for that. It would be the baseball and softball
Yeah,
team.
accessible to baseball and softball teams. So you're talking.
Would it be used all school year? Or
Yes,
just
so
during?
it'd be all school year access.
I would say at least 60.
Yeah, it'd be 60 or 70 when you add in the JV, varsity.
And I will tell you this, the middle school can
And
use
middle
it.
s-
At Jeff, they use it some. It's used year-round at
What's the
Jeff.
size of your building?
40 by 90.
And how many cages will be in the building?
It'd be 3.
Okay. Further questions? All right. All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Next is training for Training for hide in plain sight, sweeping drug trends.
Yes, Mr. Page Board. If you'll bear with me for just a moment. Last week, I was at the school safety conference in Indianapolis. Jermaine Calloway, this is who we're proposing to the recommendation tonight. He was the keynote speaker the second day. And he has a wonderful program about the new drug trends. And if you saw in the news, there was a county over in Kentucky that they had a major situation with. Students and this drug use is becoming very sophisticated, and there's THC oils and THC paste that students are starting to use, and they could put them in these vapor cigarettes, and they are using that. And if you saw across the river, that was a huge problem. We were on a search about 3 weeks ago for what we believe was marijuana in a car, and as we were looking through the car, didn't find any marijuana, but we saw what we have now learned were some items that would be used for that. Butane is a key ingredient for that, and you can YouTube how to do this. You just simply put butane on marijuana leaves and it crystallizes the ends, and that's how they're making the oil or the paste for this. This gentleman has a very extensive knowledge in the latest trends as well as the clothing, and he would bring all of that down. I have been in contact with him through Gary Green and would like to secure him. You will see his contract. The $3,000 covers his speaking fees, travel, hotel, it's everything. I've also worked with Dr. Deichel, and I've had preliminary conversations. He is booked for the rest of the year. I really want to get him in here with your approval ASAP. That's why I'm asking for this a little bit backwards. But I've already talked to Chief Kavanaugh. I'm going to reach out to the FOP and would invite our local law enforcement, Charlestown, the Sheriff's Department, and keep it with the folks that serve Greater Clark. And then if they were willing to help us sponsor this with any monetary contributions, I can put it back in, and Dr. Deichel's helped me with that vehicle. So even if we don't, the $3,000 comes out of my professional development budget. We have the money budgeted for professional development. I think it's just too important. We're starting to see the trends in our high schools. We've got to be knowledgeable about this, and I feel strongly about this. So having said that, the recommendation would be to enter in this agreement with Jermaine Galloway, doing business as JCHAD Professional Trainings, to present a training seminar, hide in plain sight, sweeping drug trends with Greater Clark.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hare. We have a motion.
So move.
Thank you, Mr. White. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, comments for Dr. Hare?
Yeah, Dr. Hare, who is the target audience of this training?
It would be our assistant principals at all of our secondary buildings, our principals. If we needed to bring some counselors, we could. I would invite our SAMs at our elementaries. It's a little young, but some of the clothing we need to be aware of and let them see that. And then we would open it up to our local law enforcement officers, Jeffersonville Police Department, Clarksville Police Department, Charlestown, the Sheriff's Office, and then we would invite the state police if they would want to come. We have a county commission. We meet a couple of times a year made up of all of those agencies. So we would make it available, and they could send as many people as they wanted to. I really would like for this to be an opportunity for the schools to work closely with our law enforcement, especially the police officers that deal in the drug enforcement divisions of each entity.
Dr. Hare, I would also suggest that we invite the juvenile probation department.
Probation officers.
You're
as well.
100% correct. I just
And
apologize. I didn't
perhaps the courts,
talk to
too.
them.
Somebody from the
Absolutely.
courts.
Certainly. I actually have a meeting with Judge Carmichael
I
next week.
think probation officers with general.
Yeah, for 100. I just failed to mention them. You're right.
Where's this going to be held?
We'll either be here or possibly in the media center at Jeffersonville High School. It probably will need to be at the media center. I suspect we'll have a pretty good turnout. We may even need to move it to an auditorium at Jeff, but we'll have it in one of the two locations. I will be honest with you, Board, he has filled up pretty quickly, and I moved rather quickly to get him procured, and then I was going to work through the details. Normally, I would do it the opposite with you, but wanted to get him. This was the only date he had for this year.
Further questions? No? All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
I'll keep you posted on it. Thank you.
All right. Next is the New Washington Middle High School weight room naming rights request.
Yes, sir. Board, it's a great honor for me tonight, as being part of the New Washington Middle High School weight room. You will see that there were several letters attached to support the naming of the New Washington Middle School High School weight room in honor of Mr. Steve Wright. He's out here with the family. You want to come on up here? Come on up here. I'll share with you a little bit from Mr. Ledbetter. Mr. Wright served our students as a community for many years as a teacher and a coach, and during his time, he was dedicated to making the physical education program one that New Washington could be proud of, and one that it served the students in a very positive, beneficial way. He also took a keen interest in making our weight room, after the 2009 renovations, one of the best in the area for a school of our size. He worked tirelessly to find equipment that would support our strength and training and resistance training classes, as well as our athletic teams at different levels than our schools had had in prior weight rooms. Through his efforts, we now have a weight room anchored by 18 pieces of Nautilus equipment, and with this equipment and a few exercises and the resistance pieces that they already had, they can now provide a much greater opportunity for our physical education classes and our athletic teams to train at a much higher and safer level. So at this time, the superintendent, along with us, the recommendation is to honor Mr. Steve Wright, a retired physical education teacher, by officially naming the New Washington Middle High School weight room in his honor.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
Thank you. I think I saw Mr. White first.
Okay.
Got to beat him out once.
Got to let him in there once in a while. All right, questions, comments for Dr. Hare?
Yeah, I do. Knowing Steve from way back, competitors in Little League Baseball, competitors in high school baseball, can play some softball, teachers together, a great guy, very competitive. And if you had to pick somebody that would take a weight room and do it right, it'd be Steve. Do it the right way, and because he's a competitor, and it paid off for the kids at New Washington and that community. So thank you, Steve.
Well, just one comment. I've known him way back. We went to elementary school together, and he was a great guy back then, and it's quite an honor to be able to vote in this favor for this tonight. So anyway, all right, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Great job.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the board, the administration, Mr. Jones, Mr. Davis, Mr. Ledbetter, Mr. Yancey for asking me, or, putting the room in my name. I appreciate that. I got a call from Ben, I think it was last Tuesday, and he goes, "What are you doing next Tuesday?" And I thought, that's low and I'm old. I'm not sure, I'll have to check the schedule. And then he told me what it was for, and I was shocked and stunned, but honored that I could make a difference for the students up there and the community. So thank you. Great job.
All right, next is the bid award for food services management. Dr. Nigel?
I just want Alex to know, Alex, you've done something really great. Here you've graduated college before you graduated high school. So I just want you to know that. Think about that. She hasn't gone through commencement yet. She's already
That is
high school.
very impressive.
It is impressive.
But anyway, congratulations. I have 2 associate's degrees, so I understand. Legal ads were published in the News and Tribune on Thursday, May 7th and May 14th. 2 companies picked up RFPs, but only one submitted a proposal, which was Aramark. We also had a new thing that we had to do, and that was to submit it to the state. So the state had to approve it, so it was on their website. So it was even spread out even further. Greater Clark County Schools has been with Aramark for the past 5 years, as you well know, as the manager of our food service department. During this time, Aramark has returned more than $1.8 million to our food service department, increased student participation for breakfast from 497,000 meals in the 2010-11 school year to 597,000 in 2013-14, an increase of 20%, which is great. They also increased student lunch participation by 4.5% over the prior year, even with the new USDA guidelines. Catering continues to grow based on Mr. Chuck for the past 5 years also. In their proposal, I want you to think about this. This is something we will have never seen before down here. First one, a guaranteed minimum profit of $475,000 based on 180 school year and a student enrollment of at least 10,236 children. Here's the big one. Aramark will make a financial commitment of $136,000 for equipment. They will buy us a food service truck that we can go and take to the schools when the schools are closed because of inclement weather. We can do summer feeding off of this truck. We can use it for concessions, you know, with the high schools at their football games, things of that nature. That alone is about $100,000 investment. At my annual business managers meeting in Fort Wayne, MSD Pike had one there by Chartwell's. It was cool. I loved it. And when Natalie and Julie, her boss, explained everything to me, I was just drooling, and I couldn't wait to give this to you. So anyway, the food truck, there'll also be tablets for breakfast carts so that when the kids come in, they can take a meal to go, and they'll have tablets right there. It'll be automatically credited to their account, point of service meals, marketing, and kitchen equipment for the administration building if we so need it. They have a bunch of other things here. The administrative fees to manage the program will be $190,745.10. This is slightly less than the prior 5-year contract because it's based on meal count. Meal count should go down a little bit because now they're going after more of the a la carte, right? Or was it the other way around? Okay. Yeah, the equivalent. They're also going to make an annual contribution over the 5-year period to our backpack program of $5,000, $5,000 to our education foundation each year, and $5,000 to be used at the district's direction. So I think that's really nice. Volume discounts, rebates, and credits will be given to the food service department. At current meals made, it should be at least $500,000. So we're utilizing their volume discount that Aramark has because they're so huge. There's other things here, healthy life resources for students, for our adult communities. Aramark has been a very good partner with us over the last 5 years. And basically, the administration is happy to recommend Aramark for a 1-year contract with 4 1-year renewals. And that's where we're at. So I'm here to entertain any questions you may have. Natalie's here, Chuck's here. Yes, ma'am.
The food truck count for like intercession?
We can use it for whatever we want.
Okay. Community
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Carter. And you don't need a CDL for it.
Really? Guess what?
And I had a second for Ms. Zolman. So questions, comments for Dr. Dykle?
The food truck, could that be used like community disasters, let's say a tornado relief, flooding relief? Could we go in and help one of our communities to feed them?
Yep. We could also use it for the chili cook-off, since we know if Chuck cooks in a new facility, he's going to retain
Yeah,
his
he'll win,
championship
sure.
again as chili cook-off king. So we're trying for that again. But yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless as far as that goes.
Board, I'd also just like to echo the thought that Aramark, in the 3 years I've been your superintendent, Aramark has been a tremendous partner. They've always been a real part of our team, not just a contracted service. We treat them as part of our team, and they act as part of our team, and I believe they believe in our mission and vision, and so I heartily support this and believe it's definitely in our district's best interest.
And Julie Shelton wanted to be here. That's Natalie and Chuck's boss, but her daughter ended up having twin boys earlier than what she anticipated, so she couldn't be here, and she wanted to be there at the birth. I don't know why. This is more important. You know. Okay. Hi,
She's
Natalie.
watching online, live streaming.
Hi, Julie.
Okay, further comments, questions? If not, I think I know how this is going to go. All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is the extension of waste removal contract, garbage service.
Yes, our current contract with Ecotech expires on July 31st, 2015. As part of the bid awarded on July 9th, 2013, we had the option to extend the contract for 2 more years if all the terms and conditions remain the same. We contacted Ecotech, and they have agreed to maintain the current terms and conditions for another 2 years, even though the New Albany recycling center that they use closed, and now they have to go across the river and take everything over to Louisville. We also have the recycling with them. That's something that we did 2 years ago. So we really have 2 dumpsters at every school, the recycling one and the regular one. And I give you a report every quarter as far as what the recycling does and how many tons of refuse we have diverted from the landfills. So we're happy to be partnering with Ecotech, and they're happy to be with us for 2 more years at all the current terms and conditions. So we're strongly recommending that you award the contract to them.
All right, thank you.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Do we have any questions, comments to Dr. Dykle? All right, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is consulting service. Jane, I hope I say this right, Galonia?
That's very good.
Okay.
Jane Galoni is a retired teacher from Greater Clark. She retired last year, and we've asked her to come back and do some homebound instruction for us. Sometimes during the course of working with kids who maybe are having some behavioral issues that need to be at home, we need to provide that service during the school day rather than after school, which is a lot of our homebound, and she's willing to do that for us. So it is a contract for doing that.
All right, thank you.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Any questions, comments? All right, all in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Neola policies. I won't read them all. There's a bunch of them.
Board, I'd be happy to take this one tonight. As you can see, this is a first reading on Section 6,000, Finances, 7,000, Property, 8,000, Operations, and 9,000, Relations. There's also a first reading on Neola Policy 3430, which was Greater Clark Policy 4150, and also Neola Policy 4430, which had been Greater Clark Policy 4250. Those are related to leaves of absence. Those Greater Clark policies were developed through discussion with various union groups and is being incorporated into the Neola policy with minimal changes as indicated. There's also Neola Policy 8390, animals in the classroom, and I think that relates to service dogs. So at the June 16th meeting, we will provide you with a list of Greater Clark policies that will be incorporated into the Neola policy manual. And if you have any specific policies that you believe should be adopted as part of Neola, please send Sandy Lewis or Pam Maples an email with the policy number for review. So again, as we've gone through this process, we've looked at the Neola policies, and if we think that there's something that is a Greater Clark policy that needs to come over and be part, that's what we're doing. So there'll be a list provided on the 16th of any other Greater Clark policies that we believe need to be added into this. So these 3 that have been provided tonight, there'll probably be a few others that we'll give to you on the 16th. We're still on the goal of July 7th adopting, doing the second reading, I guess, at that point of all the policies. So we can get them, implemented by Neola and get them into into the web service and be ready to go.
All right, so this is just a first reading tonight. There's no action needed. Next is the PESG educational staffing contract.
Board, as you know, we have had PESG as our service provider for sub-services. Our contract with them currently expires on June 30th. We had a request for proposals for sub-services, and they were distributed with a deadline of May 1. There were 3 proposals submitted to Greater Clark. Number 1 was PESG. Number 2, Kelly Educational Staffing, and 3, Parallel Employment Group Education Division. PESG Educational Staffing was the most responsible and responsive bidder with a proposal rate of 25.95%. PESG has serviced Greater Clark since June 1 of 2010 and currently has facilitated average fill rates, including all employee classifications, of 96.9% in urban areas, 98.1% in rural areas. The contract has a fee escalation clause stating that the fee is capped except for regulatory or statutory increase or employee class of work change. So they've been a good partner. They have gone beyond the call of duty. We've had an individual that's provided a level of service here for us in our building. They've done yeoman's work for us, and I think they've delivered on their promises. Their fill rates have been strong. Always could be better. We're always looking for even more enhanced, but we'll continue to work together on that. But at this point, I'd like to recommend PESG for the 3-year contract.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Millen. Do we have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Kraft. And thank you, Ms. Zollman. Second. All right. Questions, comments for Dr. Millen at the PESG contract?
Yeah, Dr. Millen, I was reading through the contract, and it talks about a premier substitute that's paid a slightly higher rate. Is any dialogue been going on could that be our retired teachers, or who's a preferred or substitute?
We do have, we have preferred subs, we have premier subs, we have permanent subs in our buildings. Retired teachers, their rate is higher. Their rate of pay is higher than other subs already. The other thing that's neat about the PESG proposal is there's an incentive built in so that depending upon the number of days the substitute works, they can actually increase the amount of pay that they'll earn. And so I think that's important, is that for X number of days they work in a given month, that they could earn a bonus, which I think will be helpful. They've put this in practice in other districts that they serve, and they've had very positive results. So those fill rates, they're more likely to have subs coming in and sustaining their efforts in our school corporation. So that's something that's an innovative thought and idea that was unique to them, and I think that makes sense.
So our retirees were still going to get paid a higher rate?
Yes, that hasn't changed.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? All in favor? Be 7-0. Thank you. Okay, next is reports, requests. So, Mr. White, anything?
I have nothing, thank you.
Ms. Perkins? Ms. Ullman?
No, thank you.
Ms. Kraft?
Thank you.
Mr. Hall?
No, thank you.
Ms. Gilkey?
The only thing I have is Board Friday. I'll be traveling to Indianapolis for ISBA Regional Directors Meeting. So at our next board meeting, I'll have a report for you from that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilkey, and I don't have anything. Looks like we have a couple of public comments on non-agenda items. I think the first we have is Pat Barrow on environmental report. Oh, thank you.
Should I sit this out?
Yeah. Sure.
I thought it was going to be simple, but it turned out to be. Start with this one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My name is Pat Barrow. I am here because I have been involved in a project around Mac Asphalt for about 8 years. And it has been our desire to have them move to another location. If you're not aware, Mac Asphalt was put, and you'll see the cover of your map there, and it'll be right in the center here, and that's approximately 1 mile radius.
They were put there without going through zoning. And it's been our desire to get them to go through zoning. We think that's the only fair way. Right now, Mayor Moore has pulled their permit. Currently, Mike is looking for a different judge. They want to change the venue or something like that. So all I'm asking you all is, we had this done by 2 ladies from IU, and it will give you a list of the chemicals and things like that that go in the air. Look at page 11. And you can see that we have arsenic, chromium, lead, manganese, mercury, nickel. All of that is released into the air, and they're allowed to put up to 100 tons of that into our atmosphere. Now, I live really close, and I can tell you I've walked my dog and gotten soot on my face. Our concern is, and it kind of hit me when I heard about you all looking at your school system. I don't have any kids in school, so that's not my issue here. But IDEM can do a test on the ground, and I suggest that maybe you all look into getting that tested over at Thomas Jefferson. And be sure they're not playing around in these chemicals there. They're just 0.6 of a mile from there. So it's not very far. And you have any other, I just want you involved. And if you're asked, or if there's something that you need, would you let me know? I can certainly put you in touch with the 2 ladies that put this together for us. And it's been really helpful, because now we have something in black and white. You know, it's been really hard to deal with when you don't have, you stand out there and you say, well, what's it doing? Now, real quick, I'll just show you this. It's the difference between a clear day and the usual day. You can see that the difference in the atmosphere there. So that's what your school system's getting to. They just happen to be going this way. So if there's anything I can do, let me know, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrow. Normally, what happens with the board is we take that under advisement, and we'll discuss it with the superintendent. So thank you for coming tonight.
I just wanted you to be aware.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm not surprised.
All right, next we have Frank Denton. Mr. Denton, how are you, sir?
I'm happy to be here. And I want you to know retirement's good. It really is. I spend a lot of time with my grandson. I get to do just children's museums and things like that. And just pick up fossils and mix up our own potting soil and play in the dirt. Just regular stuff, and it's terrific with the grandson. Tonight, though, I want to talk to you about contract. Our contract that's coming to a close, actually at the end of this month. And, you know, way back, bargaining law started, what, 1972? And I'm sure our contract didn't happen overnight. It started and it's built on the shoulders of administrators and teachers and input from board year after year after year, every time we bargain. And we put a lot into the contract we have now. It's not something that just magically happened. So that contract, the legislature, magically, 5 years ago, made a lot of sudden changes. Besides taking $300 million away from public schools, they also changed the rules we go by, and we went ahead and we settled the contract for 5 years, and this is it now, and that's coming to a close. But I'm looking for some way to maintain a lot of the ideas of the contract, so just to safeguard the teachers and children and anybody who's involved with the school, because it seems like our contract, every other group benefits from our having a contract. I know it's a teacher contract, but I know others, everybody from maintenance to secretarial benefit from that contract. Some of the things in the contract that I don't want to see lost, planning time is a big one. Planning time is just so important to our teachers, and to lose planning time would be terrible. I think sometimes we don't even have enough. The 5 mornings, for example, When we set up that for 5 periods in the morning, 30 minutes in the morning, 2 for teachers, 2 for administrative type things, and then 1 I thought was going to be for special ed type things, but it didn't work out that way, so it ended up being 3 administration and 2 for teachers, and then along with the other planning in the middle of the day, during the student day. The days of the contract, the hours, the 5 events, 15 hours that are in there set up for teachers to aid the students after school in different events and things that we do. Meetings for principals. The sick bank has been a big part of the contract since we've had it, because sometimes people needed the sick bank. They run out of days. People who have injuries or sickness that they can't deal with otherwise. Association days, grievance process, the insurance, all kinds of things like, regular things basically in the contract. I thought at first it'd be good to maybe put that in policy, but maybe it's administrative guidelines. It could be put there just to maintain and keep that until we make adjustments in the legislature or do things different, but have the contract as part of the things we do until we slowly make the change and really discuss meaningful discussion on the things that may need to be changed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Denton.
Yes.
Thank you. And congratulations again on your retirement. It looks like it's agreeing with you. All right, next item is board comments. Mr. White?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Ms. Perkins?
Yes, Monday, I had an opportunity to go to North Haven and see our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Botts, received the Excel Teacher of the Year. And I've been in lots of gymnasiums with lots of kids. And I have to say, the children at North Haven were just outstanding. And the program was outstanding. And she even had a couple of her students that she works with in this program that she has set up. And there was one little guy, and I told Dr. Mellon, I said, he's after your job. He was quite charming.
He was.
And, but I appreciated being able to go to that, and it was very nice.
All right, thank you. Ms. Zellman?
First of all, I want to congratulate this young lady for coming and staying the whole time.
Yes.
You're learning a lot about the school board. And also, I want to thank Dr. Mellon or Renee for the Friday weekly updates. Those are really helpful, and especially at the end when you're putting all those dates, because at this time of the year, you're trying to decide where you need to be and when. So thank you very much for doing that.
Okay. Ms. Kraft?
Nothing.
No. Mr. Hall?
No, thank you.
Nothing. Ms. Gilkey?
Speaking of dates, are the community meeting dates for the facilities plan on our website?
I think so.
Daniel?
Aaron?
Yes?
Yes, thank you, Daniel.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to remind everyone that there are several community meetings regarding our facilities plan, and so please make sure you attend one of those. I was at New Washington last night, and Dr. Mellon did an amazing job explaining the process from beginning to end, and how the state has affected our budget and why we're in the position we're in as far as our facilities. And so I would just urge you to go and get the full bank of information. So again, the dates for those and the locations are on our website, and I just encourage you to attend. Thank you.
Well, to piggyback on that just a bit, and you stole my thunder. I was going to talk about that, but okay. Sorry. Actually, we very much appreciate all the comments, both positive and negative. We've got some big decisions to make over the next coming months, and it's important that we hear all the feedback one way or the other. So I appreciate those that are coming, those that are gathering information, and we appreciate you doing that. So anyway, that's all I have. Dr. Mellon?
Just a couple things, Board. Later this month, we'll have a college and career update, but work ethic certification, I just want to give you an idea of how our students did, our seniors this year. We had 170 seniors earn the work ethic certification. There are 9 criteria, pretty stringent. The attendance is 98%. We had 170, that's 24%, 170 out of 703. So 24% of our seniors earned the work ethic certificate. At Jeff High, it was 24% of those seniors. Charlestown High, 24%, and New Washington was 29%. So very proud. We were able to get certificates. I appreciated the work of our career team, particularly Aaron Bojorquez, who was able to produce the certificates. Gary Green, I believe, drove them up to the State House, and Governor Pence signed them, which is a pretty unique circumstance. And so when I was at Ivy Tech today, attending the Chancellor's annual report, she also made a good point of our work ethic certification, and I think businesses and industry all over the area are starting to recognize that. I'm just very proud of our 170 students that earned that. It's a great starting point. This was not meant to be something easy to achieve, but it's focusing on those soft skills that kids must have in life regardless of what path they choose to take. And I think that's critical. Now, 24% is a good starting point. We hope to keep growing and expanding from that. But I just had to give that information out. Dr. here, I'm sure, would like to, but I think it was just so positive today. I was very, very appreciative. The other thing is, Board, I need to just let our public know that at our recent ISBA regional meeting, our board was recognized yet again as an outstanding board. There is a certain criteria that all of our board members have to fulfill, and they were named an outstanding board yet again. So congratulations to you for that. That takes teamwork and dedication. And individually, there are individual recognitions for board members based upon the amount of different conferences that they attend relative to school board. And I want to recognize Mr. Pavey, who received his level 3. Nancy and Jerry both were level 2. And then Tony and Teresa Perkins level 1. Teresa Zolman, you're just getting started, so I know you'll get there. You're a rookie. You're in your rookie year. But you know, just congratulations to all of you individually, and we've got great representation with Ms. Gilkey on the ISBA board. So it's something that you've worked hard for, and you deserve that level of recognition, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So next item is adjournment. I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft, and I think I heard Ms. Perkins second. All in favor? Be 7-0. Good night.
Teresa.